Hey there and welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Selena Beasley and I am a makeup coach. I teach women in online business how to do their makeup for the camera so they can show up as the face of their brand, looking the part of your success. And today I am going to share with you my top 10 tips for looking younger on camera. Now, before we get started, have you saved your seat for my upcoming live training? 3 on-camera makeup mistakes that might be costing you business and how to fix them. So this class is for anyone who wants to learn how to do their makeup for the camera in a way that attracts your virtual audience's attention to your message. So I'm going to show you my no-fail placement techniques, makeup placement techniques. Particularly, we're going to focus a little bit on contour because contour tends to just mystify some. So we're going to create some focus there, and I want to show you how to create a meaningful and memorable impression on your audience. So, little story, someone sent me a comment this week when I announced that I was going to be hosting this class, and they said, if my makeup is going to be costing my business and someone doesn't want to do business with me because of what my makeup looks like, well, I don't want to do business with them anyway. And I thought, okay, let's unpack this title because I wrestled with this title for this very reason. I want you to imagine with me, we're trying to create a first impression. When you show up online, when you show up in video, you have anywhere from 1/10 of a second to 3 seconds to harness someone's attention. So I want you to imagine that I want to make a connection with you. So I'm going to invite you over to my house. I invite you over to my house and you're at the threshold. I open the door. I'm in my foyer. I am wearing a bathrobe, a towel on my head. I don't have any makeup on. There's little boy underpants in the back on the floor. TV's blaring. Okay, because hey, that's my life. That's how I live. That's how, you're in my home. This is how it's going to be. But for the person who doesn't know me, who doesn't know my story, who's not familiar with me yet, I open the door like that. It's going to send a message to the person that I want to make a connection with. I was not prepared for you. They're going to go, did I come at a bad time? Did I get the day right? Is this, I'm sorry, am I intruding? This is going to send an impression to the person at my threshold that I was not prepared for you, or I was not intentional about you coming into my space. When you are doing your makeup for the camera, when we talk about looking younger on camera, this has nothing to do with sex appeal. Your looks, if you hear nothing else that I say today, your looks are the least interesting thing about you. I just want to make sure that we are clear on that. Your story, your message, your contribution, your essential contribution in the world, that's what we want to get to. But we got to get past the foyer first. We got to cross that threshold. The foyer, this is my foyer behind me. That's the least interesting room in my house, I'll be honest. But it is the space that when someone comes to my door, I want them to, rather than the, hey, this is the way that I am, take it or leave it. You want to come in or not? Rather than sending that message, I want them to feel like, hey, I am hosting you. Maybe I have a diffuser going in my foyer. Maybe I have some music playing. Maybe I want to say to my visitor, such as we want to say to people who are engaging with our brand for the first time, I've been expecting you. Now, let's move into the living room where we can get a little more into our story and kind of see if we can strike some interest here. And then once we get familiar, then let's go in the kitchen and let's cook something up together. Then you get refrigerator rights. But what we are discussing now, top 10 tips for looking younger on camera. This is for you to make that foyer impression when someone is encountering your brand for the first time. So you send the message, I'm prepared for you. I was expecting you. I'm so glad that you're here. Rather than, hey, this is how it is. Take it or leave it. Sending the message, hey, I don't know. Did I come at a bad time? Okay, so all that to say, I am boldly declaring that 3 on-camera makeup mistakes that might be costing you business and how to fix them is happening next week. All right, now, without further ado, let's get started on today's topic, top 10 makeup tips to look younger on camera. I want you to insert in the word younger, in place of the word younger, think fresh, think relevant, think dynamic, vibrant, energy. When I talk about having a magnetic presence online, that's what I'm talking about. So I always like to start with a camera ready cross check. I typically do this before I turn my camera on, but I find that it's helpful for my students if I do this with you. So before we get into this content, let's do our camera ready cross check. This is what you want to do for the first 3 minutes before you turn on your camera for a social media live, or you're going on Zoom, or you're leading a virtual training. You want to turn on your camera and think A, B, C's. Okay? First, we're checking our camera angle. I learned a little tip this week from Carrie Murphy. She's a video marketing expert, and she said, so I've kind of made an adjustment here, could you tell? She said, you want to take up space in the frame and not have too much head space in on the angle of your camera. You want to fill the frame. You don't want to be here. It's a little awkward, but we do want to take up space. So, what do you think? How's it going this time? A little different than usual, but I like it. Okay, A, camera angle. B, your makeup blend. Our camera image is not the same as our mirror image. So what may look good in the mirror, not necessarily on camera. So maybe my blush, maybe it'd be darker on one side, or now this is looking pretty good. My blend is looking pretty good. Check my eyeshadow, make sure that everything's, mirrored, symmetrical. Okay, blend's looking pretty good. C, your color contrast. So I'm wearing just a pretty neutral top. So I went with a higher contrast lip. I want my message to pop today because I've got a lot to tell you. So I like the contrast in my lip. I think I can go a little higher contrast with my eyeshadow. So I'm gonna do that right now. Again, this is something I would do if I was on getting ready and doing my little cross check before I turn on the camera, but I waited to do it with you. I'm trying to just create a little bit more contrast there on this accent shade. Not much, nothing crazy, but I'm excited and I want my eyes to pop. So that's why I may do that. Good, okay. And the S, ABCs. S, your shine. You do not want to be luminous on camera because it does not look luminous. It looks sweaty. So that dewy look, it's not so good for camera. So we want a matte look. I'm doing okay, but I keep in my camera ready makeup capsule, I keep a translucent loose powder that if I'm feeling like I got a little bit of shine happening, run that right over. Take care of that. No problem. No sweat. Literally, no sweat. Okay, now, without further ado, top 10 makeup tips to look younger on camera. Here we go. All right, makeup tip number 1 is not a makeup tip. It's a skincare tip. Is to moisturize and prime your skin. So I always say your makeup game will never be a 10 if your skincare game is a 2. So you want to hydrate your skin. You want to wash, hydrate, and then prime your skin. Priming is a step that often a lot of people skip. But I want you to think about priming like you would, if you were gonna paint a wall in your house, why would it be a good idea to prime it first? Because it creates a magnetic surface for the color. And if you want your color to stay true, stay in place, you want to create a nice smooth finish for your foundation and for your color. Tip number 2 is use a high quality full coverage foundation. Last week, in my training last week, I shared with you how you could get the most bang for your buck when you're shopping for makeup. So are there some pieces that like you go through them so fast, you really don't need to spend so much money on them. Things like mascara. You don't need to spend a lot of money on mascara. But I did say, and then if you're going to put your money where it counts, where you're going to see the best results, you want to invest in your foundation. Going with a higher quality, matte, full coverage foundation is best for the camera. It's going to create just a real flawless base for your color. All of this today, because I'm rapid firing these tips to you, all of this is on my latest blog post. You can go to selinabeasley.co to my blog, and today's blog post is this very topic, so you can go and freshen up on that. Okay, number 3, brighten your eyes. Now, I'm a color junkie. I love color. I love mixing and matching color combinations. I love the smoky eye look. I love creating different looks. However, when you're on camera, and this is just if you are prioritizing looking, creating that effect of energy and vibrancy, youth. Okay, all of this is synonymous with youth. Darker, smoky on camera can tend to make your eyes look a little bit smaller and more sunken. So we want to create lift, brightness. So think more colors like light neutrals, champagne, peach. So maybe avoiding the darker, smoky colors if you're trying to go for a more youthful look. Tip number 4, define your eyebrows. I feel like I could write a whole book on eyebrows. I won't, because it would not sell. It would be a very boring book, but I'm pretty passionate about this, and here's why. Your eyebrows, they send an emotional cue to your viewer. You ever seen somebody with angry eyebrows? Or I'm noticing a trend on the laminate. I'm not gonna listen, you do you, boo, but the laminated look, everybody that is walking around with a laminated look, I get this is gonna be a very unpopular opinion. I am sure I'm gonna get some DMs about this. You look surprised at the world. You look very surprised. And I, as a confident woman in business, I would venture to say that may not be the emotional cue that you want to send right away of like, hey, I'm surprised you're here. Or, hey, you caught me by surprise. No, we want to create the purpose. I'm looking at my own brows on. The purpose of your eyebrows is to frame the face and to work within the shape of your own face to create your brow shape. Not all brow shapes are the same. That's something that I teach in one of my intensives, is you want to create your brow shape so that it's congruent with your face shape. To give think of like, these are the window treatments of your face. The point is, we want to focus on your eyes, right? We're not focusing on the window treatments. We want it to look natural. We want to be able to see, we don't want them to be too blocky, blocky, like, whoa. But we do want them to, it makes a huge difference in your overall look. Whew, I could write a book about eyebrows. Define your eyebrows. Okay, tip number 5, apply concealer. Concealer is, if you have any shadows, blemishes, imperfections on your face, concealer is gonna be your best friend, especially in this area right here. I work with coaches and consultants that their message is one of mindset and wellness and holistic health and work-life integration. The last thing they want is to look tired and drawn and dull and washed out, especially on camera. So the dark circles or dark shadows or, just anything that's going to undermine, are you catching a theme here? Anything that's going to undermine your message, this is what we want to address. Why? Because when people come into the foyer of our brand, we want to send the message of, I was expecting you, I'm prepared for you, and this time is about you. So concealer, apply concealer to help with any areas, dark circles, blemishes, to create a flawless complexion. Number 6 of my top 10 makeup tips to look younger on camera. Number 6, use blush. So you want to apply your blush, but blush is it's just going to make your face look awake. It's going to brighten your appearance. You want to, I've applied it right here to the apples of my cheeks. Just sweep it lightly and then toward your temple. And it is just going to give you that healthy glow. Blush. Also, blush and lips. You've probably heard me say this before. Blush and lips makes your eyes look bigger. So this is going to help. You won't need as much eye makeup if you wear blush. Number 7, highlight your features. Now, highlighter is up there with contour and how it tends to mystify some people. They're like, wait, what? How do we do this? You want to highlight the high points of your face. And I've created a little diagram for you if you're wondering about where are these places. The underneath on your brow bone, right underneath your eyebrow, under this arch here, right here along the cheekbone, and the inner corner of the eye. This is a great place to start. If you go to selinabeasley.co, go to my blog today, I've created a little 3-point, I call it the 3-point highlight technique. I've created a little diagram for you. So if you're just getting started with highlighter and you kind of want to know, like, where do I put this to kind of, it creates the effect of lift. If you want to know how to get started, you can go and you can pin that to your Pinterest board, the 3-point highlighter technique, and just try it this week. You can use a highlighter, a designated highlighter, or you can use the lightest neutral eyeshadow. I have a matte eyeshadow that I use, and I'm using in these areas today. So, and you can, it's like a light, it's just like the lightest of, it's like a taupe, but it's got a pearl, kind of a pearl finish to it. And so just gives me a little extra glow. That's what I'm going for here. All right, number 8 is to choose the right lip color. If you want to look younger, remember, synonymous with fresh, vibrant, energized. I recommend going brighter color rather than darker color. So dark colors tend to look more aging. So if you want to look younger, if you want to look fresher, more vibrant, I would say stick with like your pinks and your peach colors, even like a lilac versus like your deep maroon berries, your crimson reds, because they tend to be more aging. I teach a free lipstick masterclass. If you have not taken that masterclass, comment lipstick and I will send you the link to join. It's free. And I talk all about this at length. Number 9 of my top 10 tips for how to look younger on camera. Curl your eyelashes. So yes, these are the window treatments. These are they're like the awnings. Maybe you bear with all these illustrations today. These are the awnings. So when you curl your lashes and think about an awning, if an awning is like here, it's going to cast a bit of a shadow over, what's happening down below. Whereas if you lift the awning, it's going to create more light. And that's what we want. We want, your eyes are such a key indicator of the passion that you feel about your offer and about your message. We want people to see those eyes. This is especially important if you wear glasses. You want to curl those lashes, and that way they let as much light into your eyes as possible. And finally, number 10 for my top 10 tips, makeup tips to look younger on camera. Lighting. I realize this is not a makeup tip, but you could do a flawless application on your makeup. And if your lighting is crummy it's not going to matter. I was a singer for years and years and years. And they said, if you could be the best singer in the world. If your sound man doesn't know what he's doing, it doesn't matter. Your show is going to be a bust. Proper lighting is the sound man in this situation. You could have a beautiful message, flawless look. Your foyer is like rocking. You are getting people in your space and they're loving you and they feel like they belong and they are just, happy to be on the scene. And I'm talking virtually here, okay? Because we're in online business. But without proper lighting, that's just going to kind of get lost. So soft light, natural light is best. So if you can get in front of a window, that would just be the best. If you could get natural light on you, but you just want it to be diffused and evenly across your face. If you're using a light source, rather than using like a small bulb, like right now I have a ring light here in front of me. What's important is you want to be about equidistance away from your light source. Equidistance to like no less than double of that. So I have a 10-inch ring light here. I would say I'm between 10 and 20 inches away from it. This is optimal for lighting. You want to just make sure that it's evenly distributed across your face and that it's soft, that it's not glaring, and that it's there, that it's not dark. So there you have it. I told you I had a lot for you. Now, if you want to know more about this, if you want to know how to do your makeup for the camera, if you are tired of looking washed out and dull, of turning on your camera, excited to deliver your transformational message, and then going, just feel like there's something that's falling flat with my delivery, with my image, the way that this is coming across. I don't look as excited as I feel. Then this class, 3 on-camera makeup mistakes that might be costing you business, it is for you, sister. So if you're tired of looking tired and dull online, this is for you. If you want to know how to quickly master your makeup for the camera, this class is for you. And I'm going to teach you why now more than ever, it is critical that you know how to do your makeup for yourself. I have such respect for makeup artists. But makeup artists don't live with us. They don't travel with us. They're not with us every time we turn on our camera. So it's important that we need to know how to do this ourselves. And you can, I promise. It's a skill, one that women in business are smart, ambitious, go-getters. They're find a way, make a way women. You can do this. I have faith in you. If you have not signed up for that class, go to selinabeasley.co/training. And I cannot wait to see you there. Thanks for joining me today.